All right, police officers take an oath to protect the people of this country. But are they all really honoring that oath? Many men and women in blue find themselves on the wrong side of the law. In the past few weeks, the Independent Police Investigative Directorate has arrested officers for alleged rape and assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, while others are appearing in court for murder. Let's discuss this with Ipid spokesperson Ndileka Cola, who joins us now live. Sis Ndileka, thank you for your time. What is the update right now of that case in Amanzimtoti of the police officer who's accused of raping that 24-year-old woman who was in custody?
Good morning, Masego, and good morning to your viewers at home. Ipid is very much inundated, as you have indicated, with alleged police misconduct, and it is a cause for concern, as you've just indicated, that law enforcement officers are charged with the responsibility of ensuring that they protect the citizens of this land, and our citizens have hope when they should actually have hope in them. Police officers when they see them. But we would like to, as Ipid, to ensure that as we are mandated to ensure that we investigate the alleged police misconduct, we do that. And as you have said, on the 25th of September this year, 25th of September this year, it is alleged that a police officer allegedly took a woman, that is a 24-year-old, from a nearby shop in Nkomakhutha and took this woman into custody in Nkomakhutha SAPS. And allegedly this woman was raped whilst in police custody in one of SAPS offices where people should actually be feeling safe. This is where this actually happened. So what happened is that Ipid has started the investigation process, and it included going into the crime scene and getting the veracity and verifying facts around this incident. And after we've gathered all the necessary evidence, on the 13th of October, this police officer has been arrested, and he appeared on the 15th, Thursday last week. He appeared at Umbumbulu Magistrate Court, and the state through NPA managed to successfully oppose bail into this matter, because we want to send a strong message to the state that police don't have the supreme right to do as they please in the bodies of women and as well in the lives of citizens of this country. So he remains in custody, and he is set to appear again in court, same court, Umbumbulu Magistrate Court, on the 20th of October 2020.
Sis Ndileka, this is not the only case. I mean, there's an Eguruleni police officer who's also expected to be sentenced for rape as well. So would it be correct to say that there's a lot of rotten apples in the SAPS?
I would not want to say there's a lot of rotten apples in the SAPS, because there are lots of good police officers that are committed in their constitutional responsibility of enforcing the laws of the land and of protecting the people. But there are these police officers that have got really an unbecoming and undesirable conduct that is embarrassing and shaming to the state, that because it's the duty of the state to protect the people. And when we find police officers consistently and constantly being on the other side of the law, it is really unacceptable, and it is really a behavior that we are hoping. That is why, as Ipid always say, we want to send a strong message, because we want to make police officers understand that when they transgress the law and when Ipid gets involved, they must rest assured that they are either going to lose their job, or they are either going to end up being in jail. They're going to be sentenced. We sentenced another one for 18 years recently because of the same incident that occurred in Mthatha, where allegedly a police officer raped a woman that was in police custody as well. The woman refused, and he did all that he could. And he's been trying to duck and dive the system, and it might have taken Ipid a long time to get the prosecution into this particular matter, but ultimately he is in jail for 18 years. So we want we want to encourage them, that we understand that sometimes, especially on matters when there's a community protest, that it becomes challenging situations for them. But when it comes to a police officer raping a civilian whilst they're in police custody, it is really undesirable. And Ipid is doing its best to ensure that women in this country are protected, as well as men in this country are protected whilst they're in police custody. And even the incidents that you just spoken about in Ekurhuleni, Ipid investigated that particular matter, and he has been sentenced already, and he's already in custody, and he's been in custody, I think, since 2019. So we're doing our best as this directorate to ensure that we protect the rights of the people, and whenever an unjust occurrence has been done by a law enforcement officer, we ensure justice for the people of this country.
Well, Sis Ndileka, I'm sorry, but from what you are describing to us, a lot of people would say there are many bad apples in the police force. There's people, even commissioners, who are now appearing in court for fraud. I know that that doesn't really have to do with an Ipid investigation, but there's just too many of these cases. But just lastly, how's the relationship between Ipid and the police minister, Ndileka? Is Ipid really independent? And how's the support you're receiving from the NPA to make sure that you're successful in your investigations?
Ipid is very much independent in discharging its constitutional mandate. We do our job of oversight over police independently. We do it without fear. We do it without favor. It doesn't matter how long does it take. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what position does a police officer rank, or what rank they hold. At the end of the day, nobody is above the law. Even if you are occupying a high rank position that sort of has some level of authority when it comes to the police service. And coming to the police minister, if you know that he is our minister as well as Ipid, and we are working very well with ministry and as well as SAPS and Ipid has got quarterly meetings on all the matters that we're investigating. We meet with SAPS, even at provincial level. Ipid has got provincial heads that meet with provincial commissioners. They discuss these cases. And as well, you know that SAPS station commanders have a responsibility, and they are, in terms of the Ipid Act, they are mandated to ensure that immediately they learn about any alleged police misconduct, they inform us. So we have a working relationship with them that whenever even police have been called into the crime scene, once they learn that it is a police officer that has transgressed the law, they immediately call us. So we do have a good working relationship with SAPS that on a quarterly and monthly and whenever it's possible basis, we ensure that we communicate to them, we engage with them, and we make sure that there's mutual understanding. And we also pleading with them that they also make their officials understand the importance of upholding the rule of law as law enforcement officers in this country. And then coming to the NPA, we are also getting into the space whereby now our investigators and the prosecutors are working very well together in these cases. They discuss these cases and they ensure that the prosecutors also assist us to ensure the process of gathering evidence so that by the time we get into the court of law, we've got watertight cases that would, at the end of the day, ensure that the victims of police misconduct do get justice. So we're working very well with NPA as well. It is a growing relationship that even now with the newly appointed executive director of Ipid, Mr. Ndileka, has recently met with NPA. This is just to ensure that on all the gaps that could exist in the system and on all the challenges, we ensure that as state institutions, we work together for the betterment of and to ensure that to ensure justice in this country.
All right, thank you so much. We've run out of time. That was Ipid spokesperson Ndileka Cola.